speaking of the Transportation Secretary, he says he doesn't have a timeline on when the Baltimore port could actually reopen. Listen to this.
Rebuilding will not be quick or easy or cheap, but we will get it done. That does not necessarily mean it will take 5 years to replace. This will be a long and difficult path, but we will come together around Baltimore and we will rebuild.
Well, Congressman Scott Perry, the Republican from Pennsylvania, joins me now. Great to have you here, Congressman. You're on the House Transportation and Infrastructure Committee. How much of an impact do you think this bridge collapse, this tragic accident, what is the impact is going to have on the supply chain?
Well, I think there is going to be an immediate impact, but I also think that America is industrious. We have a lot of resources up and down the eastern seaboard. It's certainly going to take some out of the box thinking. But let's remember too, Ash, that there are still unaccounted for individuals that likely have been lost, and so we want to be respectful of that. I think mission number one has to be to clear the channel. But once that happens, I think there are, it was one of the biggest things is it's a qualified hazmat route. And so we have to deal with that in particular. But there are some out of the box thinking, like maybe using the expeditionary fast transport that the military uses to deploy military units around the globe and force projection. So maybe that's an option, but other obvious alternatives might be the Port of Philadelphia coming from Pennsylvania. That's important to us, and the other ports up and down the seaboard. So I think there's going to be a temporary disruption, to be sure, but I think America is industrious and resilient, and we will resolve it pretty quickly.
I want to change topics while we have you. I want to get into this. Israel's top officials may visit Washington after Netanyahu canceled a delegation earlier this week. But critics say that the Biden administration already has abandoned Israel and the hostages. I mean, do you get the feeling that Biden is walking away from Israel at this point?
Well, it doesn't matter whether I get the feeling. The facts on the ground are what matter, whether it's the hostages or Israel proper. Let's face what's happening. The Biden administration is working to unseat the prime minister in Israel. He's working for a two-state solution that Israel's not asking for. He's working for a ceasefire, not only globally, but in the UN. And so he's on both sides of the war, sending aid to Gaza through Hamas, and Israel rightly sees that. For what it should see it as is this administration, President Biden in particular, and his party abandoning the Jews, abandoning Israel. Meanwhile, the Speaker of the House has invited, I think, or at least is in talks with the Prime Minister about coming and addressing a joint session of Congress, which I think is the appropriate thing to do.
So with that said, do you think the Republican Party is now the pro-Israel party in this country?
I will put it this way. There's not one person that I know of in the Republican Party, in Congress or otherwise, that has not supported Israel to deal with the attack that happened on October 7th. But I can point to numerous individuals, elected officials in the Democrat Party, that have made anti-Semitic statements and have essentially said we should abandon Israel at this time. And again, that's not Scott Perry talking. Those are the facts talking, and those are the statements and the actions of people in the Democrat Party.
One more for you, Congressman. The Republican majority shrinking in the House. Multiple Republicans have left or are leaving Congress before their term ends. I mean, we can speculate, but what's driving the exodus? What's going on?
I probably think it's, look, I can't speak for any of these individuals. Some of them probably have individual concerns. I'm of the belief that unless you've got a significant family issue, that you should stay your term. That's what the people elected you to do. But that having been said, the Republicans are still in the majority. We found a way in tight majorities to get things done in the past, and I suspect we will be able to do that for the remainder of this term.
Very good. All right, Congressman, we'll have to leave it right there, but thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you, Ash. God bless you.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Thank you, and same to you, sir.